going to give myself a filter today, I think. Oh, not that. Hey Kim, hey Philip Birchall. We're going for a filter today. Hey Chelly. Oh, I looked, we had 11 people in. 11 is their number. Woo, woo, come in gang. How are we doing? Hey Brett. Nina. Woo. I want a filter, I'm not sure what I'm feeling. Hey lovers, hey Faith, welcome. I'm just scooting around. Oh, love that. Woo! Show some love, give us some hearts, all that good stuff. Okay, we're not going to have a filter. So it's a Q&A today, gang. Hey, Oliver Andrews. Come in for yourselves in the house. Woo-woo! So welcome to our last minute live. Literally, I know we only posted this yesterday, so good for you guys for hollering and joining us. Hey James, Tommy, Lauren. Woo! Hey, Olu, up in the house. Anyway, so let me turn this down now. I kind of just want to like get going tonight. Sending energy, always the energy. So yes, it's a Wednesday night. We are here. Welcome. So I'm just going to crack straight on in. Literally, Dancers Network, when we was reminiscing over our community meeting that we had last week. Yeah, for those that don't know, we had a huge online event to celebrate the win of our Terms and Conditions document. It was amazing to see the community together, by the way. Like, literally, yeah, brought a lot of smiles to all of our faces. So after that, when we was like reminiscing over it all, we realised we only really gave like an extremely small window for the Q&A. And it takes you guys a while to kind of get the questions in. So we had like a few left over. So we just wanted to ensure that we covered them for you. And yeah, we thought we'd do that on a live. We also wanted to use like this new feature. You can have 4 people at a time. So yeah, we wanted to try that. So yeah, I'm going to get in the peoples that are going to join me today. Let's have a look where they're at. We need Maxine in the house. I wish. Let's get these 2 in. I'm just going to search for Maxine. Atmosphere. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Hey Lauren. I've seen Emily in. Robin's in the house as well. I've seen some of my peoples. They're just loading now. Hey. Gang-a-lang.
Hey. Oh, looking as gorgeous as always. How you doing?
And you. Look at us. Female energy. I'm not sure where Maxine is, so maybe when she pops on, we can just start then. And we've got a load of people coming in now as well, which is great. You alright, Rich?
Hi.
Yeah, how you doing, Richie? You good?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, not bad, thanks. Not bad. Well done on last Sunday, guys. Like, really good work. So good.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Really good.
So yeah, we'll wait for Maxine to come in. She's going to come in as well. But tonight I'm going to be the one that's mainly reading out the questions. Okay, that's fine. I got a notification. She's not able to join yet. That's all right. I'm going to be the one that's mainly reading out the questions, engaging with you guys in the comments, making sure that we're hearing and seeing you all. Actually, also, that's probably definitely a lie. I'm going to chip in too because I do it sometimes. And then we have these 2. We've got Hechelly as our DN rep. And this amazing woman, Nadia from FREEYOURSTYLE.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely repping. Yeah, we've had you on before, so I'll let Maxine on when she comes on. But I think it's really nice to have you actually speak on behalf of the agencies, like hearing a different perspective and voice. So I'm really glad that you're with us.
Yay.
Yeah.
I think it was a year ago last time. Like, was it or something?
Must have been, because it was during the first lockdown that we had.
God. I don't even know what lockdown we're on now.
I know, but it's lockdown 2000, who knows. Are you guys good though?
Yeah, not bad. Get in there.
Come on then, one word. How do you feel?
Oh, go on, Richie, you go.
I actually feel quite fantastic. I'm not going to lie. I slept really well. rejuvenated. I showered and I had like a whole morning routine. So I feel great, guys. I'm very excited about this.
So the one word was fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I kept the one word.
Yeah.
Come on, Nadia, one word. How'd you feel?
Just today, drained, but I have felt good. Just today, a bit drained.
You're getting so much love, by the way. Nadia, we love you. Fantastic.
Oh.
All right, guys, I need some love too. Anyone?
Right.
Sending it?
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
Richie looking fresh and fabulous.
Aw, you're too kind.
Right, gang. Should we dip on in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah. So, guys, if feel free to engage with us. Don't know why my things turned so much. Feel free to engage with us, write in the comments, and join in the conversation with us as well. Yeah, let's make this like a little thing all together. Love to you all. There we go. Everyone's getting the love. Share all the love.
Beauties.
Right, so let's go in then. So they're in no particular order, these questions. Literally is what it is. We've got the first question. Right, so obviously it's based on the T's and C's. How does it work in terms of who presents the T's and C's document to the client?
So I know how we do it. We present it as soon as we get a confirmation for a job, or we've got it out to people that we work with in the past anyway. We're like, this is what we're abiding by. You have to have this. Anything below that, we can't work with you, kind of thing. We've been really strict about it. So in the sense of who presents them, we just make sure we present. We always kind of send backup as well, and we just sort of say, look, we ask them to confirm. Oh, you're right.
You should see my setup.
I thought you fainted. It was like,
She gone.
yeah.
Anyway, guys, tell us about that. She's here.
You can join our stunt team if you want,
Yeah,
Lily.
right.
We need more people.
Need an agent for that.
So yeah, that's how it's worked with us. But we always ask them to confirm back that they've read the T's and C's. So that's kind of what we do. And if they haven't, and we're like, right, we can't continue, kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. So in your case, obviously, when you've got an agent, it's an agency, of course.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I just want to add to that. Obviously, not everyone may have an agent, but if you do have an agency and they are on our website, on Dentist Network's website, they should be already presenting those terms and conditions to every client. And if you're not a dancer, I would suggest that within your negotiation itself, as you're talking about your rates and dates, that you should send this document with as kind of like your booklet as your staking ground, because those are super basic terms and conditions, and just to establish some ground rules.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with if we obviously, because we're non-exclusive, so some of our performers, you know, they're working, they're doing their thing, and we do get them asking us sometimes, oh, what do you think about this? So we just say, get on Dancers Network, have a look at the T's and C's, just use this on any job you're on, and then we're all on the same page then. So yeah.
Yeah, really helpful, by the way, when you do that. We had a couple of dancers come to us even at the weekend that had been forwarded by you, which was super helpful to get them on the same page. So love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that works really well, right? I thought that was a good wheels and cogs there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're going to give them a little shout out because I thought, yeah, they were brave.
Yeah.
Question 2. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Right. So we've got good one. Do dancers' rights vary with age? For example, if you're under 18 compared to an adult.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a tough one, because we've had people approach us for like minors, people under 18, and we don't actually rep people under 18. But I think the T's and C's are really good to go by anyway, in regards to what you're asking for and knowing your rights, knowing your, even above money, like your standards and how you should be treated on set. I'm hoping that's something Equity can push a little bit more and get into the colleges where they are 16 and up, learning about this and knowing their worth. So yeah, I think it does vary in the sense of maybe rates vary. We're not too sure about that. We're not the experts, but I don't think your rights should be different, if that makes sense. Yeah.
100%. I can only add to that, like, these terms and conditions they're super a basic need of a professional, regardless of their age. And actually, when you're underage, you should be more protected. There are a lot of laws about that, and people should be really wary of that. But the basic terms and conditions should apply to anyone. And I think that if you read it, you'll notice that we do not set on the terms and conditions, because we can't do that, but we recommend things that are standard in the industry, and hopefully that will increase at some point. What may change, though, you know, with time and experience, is obviously your expectation of a job, your own value, and that's when your rates may vary. Your certain things you may not seem like. You look at the basic terms and conditions and you say, actually, you know, I'm not okay with certain things. I want more, and it's okay for you to ask for more. So do not go under the terms and conditions regardless of your age, but if you feel like you deserve more, fight for it. That's what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that gut feeling, isn't it? You know, everyone knows when they're not being treated right, and I think it's going with that, going, look, this doesn't feel right. Blah, 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 blah. But as you said about age, Richie, like, there's just...
I'm gonna
Killing me.
I quit.
So, the funny thing is, we prepped for this so well. Like, yeah, so well.
Listen, Lili, I'm going to get you in on the stunts, you know, because I feel like you're doing a casting
That's
right
going to
now.
happen again. That is happening again. I bet you any money. That is coming for me today. Please. Why is it like shutting me down?
Oh my gosh. so abrupt, like. But yeah, in regards to the age thing, I think it's a thing of like having a chaperone and being aware and equity and stuff like that. I'm gonna
but no, yeah, I really have something I wanted to it's also not about like your age, it's about your experience. So going off what both of you said as well, terms conditions are basic, like, so yeah, I really don't think anyone should be going beneath them, but regardless of your age, it's more to do with your experience in that field that you're getting asked to work in as well. Like, if you feel like you want more, you want to work for less hours for more money, you're absolutely still within your rights. It's there as a guideline, and we do think rates should vary with age and experience, but not necessarily or at all really your rights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boom, I'm back in the game now.
Zone.
Question 03. Okay, cool. How to approach an offer of low-paid work or even unpaid work that's not through your agent.
All right.
Yes. Yeah, go on, Richie. Yeah.
Sorry, I want to jump in there, and I want to be really specific about this. Not paid work is not work. There's no sugarcoating this. It's either you're volunteering, or you're doing a favor, or you're doing something else, but work is to be paid. So just to clarify that, anything that is not paid isn't actually a job. And also, like, I think, well, what else did I write here in my notes? Oh, but underpaid work can be approached in different ways, right? So I think just saying no to work is an old mentality that I think a lot of dancers took that approach. And I'm not necessarily sure that it's the right one. I think there needs to be room for negotiation. So like what Lili just said earlier, if, for example, they want you to do something for 10 hours and they're offering a certain rate, what you can go back with is, actually, I can't do 10 hours, but I can do 5 for that rate. And this that I can meet you halfway with. And then maybe we can, you know, suggest less dancers, or you can, like, there's so much room to deal with the fact that maybe a production doesn't have the budget, truly doesn't have the budget. And I really want to emphasize that, because sometimes that is just not true. They do have it. But if they don't, meet them halfway there and have an honest conversation and negotiation about that. But yeah, to no paid work is not work.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we do a lot with our fire artists. We have a lot of, you know, sometimes people approach us and say, we want someone to do fire and dance for all day, but for a low amount of pay. And I just say you can have them for half an hour and that's it. Fire's a stunt, blah, blah, blah. But even in regards to dance, it's still a tricky one because I have an issue with that in music videos, because even though they say we've only got this amount and you can say, I'll give you 4 hours, your image still exists forever on the internet. And that's still something in music videos we're still trying to like just say, look, pay the day rate, have them for the time that you need them, and then it's kind of fair. And I know that is something, Richie's right, it's like you can negotiate on time and how you're used, but that is one thing with the internet, we're there forever. So anything we do, you do want to be paid well for that, you know, you want your image and your talent to be kind of honored for that. But I know what you mean. I think there's got to be room for negotiation, and if they're not willing to pay ball, then you know, you just send them to Dancers Network, don't you?
Yeah, but the thing, on a real though, really think about it. Okay, so they're offering something, you go back with quite a reasonable, you know, halfway point where you feel like I'm still okay as an artist to do that for this amount of time, you know, taking away from the whole conversation about buyouts and streaming rights, all of that. That's a whole different problem that we have. And that we can, and as soon as we have time. But in terms of your daily rate, really, what happens when you accept a low paid job and you get to the job and you're now like 10 hours in, you already have that in your mind. They were not even willing to pay you a basic rate of what you deserve. And honestly, 90% of the time that we've had dancers that came to us in retrospect, coming to us, I did this job and I was there for 16 hours and, you know, and then I kicked off because I was angry and I was hungry and I was tired. And it just creates like a ripple effect. It creates a thing of like, oh, now the dancers look unprofessional because they are frustrated, and they're rightfully so frustrated. But you've established, if you walk into a job knowing exactly what it is that you're getting, then you shouldn't have a position to be like, well, I want to kick off now about a certain situation. But if you walk into it not knowing anything, then the surprises are going to keep coming, and then what happens is it creates reaction. And usually we're emotional people, and we don't. I know I'm not the best to communicate on the spot when I'm feeling hungry and tired or cold or all of these things. So I really want people to be as prepared as you can be before walking into a set, and know exactly what you're getting from it, and be happy with that. And if you're not, don't do the job, because you're going to walk into the job really unsatisfied, feeling undervalued, feeling and kind of just questioning whether you really want to do this still. And it's happened. So that's what I would say to them.
Absolutely. I think just to put in there, I remember, well, this is like 20 years ago. I did a music video. Oh, it's for Mystique, actually, when Mystique were big. And I got paid 90 quid for, I was told 12 hours. And we were kept for 17 hours.
Sounds
and we
about
were
right.
we were all just, I mean, we didn't have Dancers Network. We didn't have equity. We didn't, even agents weren't really backing back then. They were just like, we take our, you know, actually it was 100 and they took £10. But I had to bring my own clothes, and you just didn't complain, because no one was going to be with you if you were like, no, this isn't good enough, we're walking. No one was going to do that, because you all just wanted to be there, didn't want to ruin your rep, didn't want to piss anyone off, any of those things. And I hate that I went through those times. Like, it was really frustrating. And that video's, you know, still on the internet. Not that anyone probably watches it now, but I'm really happy we're in this time where dancers are a bit like, I want to negotiate, I want to, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah,
I will
Lily,
say, you went through that experience, and it's something that you did, and we all have. Like, I mean, Lily and I could write a book about, you know, the shit that we went through. But I think why we're here today, and I think that's what makes you a great agent, is compassion and understanding, and being in the same situation and fighting for no one else to have to ever go through that again. You know, we want to leave this bit better than what we found it. I think that's what's so inspiring. So even though I obviously didn't wish that upon anyone, I am still grateful for the learning curves that came with those experiences.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Mm. I think it's definitely good to touch base on like the music videos and that. When it gets to buyouts, it gets trickier if someone's contacting you directly. Because I do think when it gets to that anyway, why are they contacting you directly? That's when it is good to come to us, because then we can liaise with the agents and maybe get it going through either an agency and get those dancers even just repped for that one job via that agency kind of thing. So like standards. And but in terms of like shows or where there's like no real buyouts and how to approach low paid jobs, just reining that back in, it literally is just asking for the conditions first. If someone's just giving you a rate, in order for you to assess and know if you want to take it or not, you kind of really do need to know what are your hours, like especially or if it is low budget, use that what Richie said at the beginning to then say like we advise rates. So we'd go like, say for instance, or in your head, you know that, oh, okay, I know my friends might do 180 for a rehearsal for 8 hours, and these people have only got £100 for me. So then you know, cool, okay, I'll work for 4 hours. Or like, or is my lunch covered? Am I getting transport? Like there's ways around not undermining the industry but still saying yes. And it's just about asking what the conditions are. And then if you're still unsure, there's now people you can go to just double check. So yeah. But great.
I think Maxine is in.
Maxine, if you're in, can you request? Because I'm very reluctant to press my phone because it keeps knocking me out. Then, so if you request, I can just press the button. I'm going to move on to the next question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that one was really helpful though previously, so thanks for that, guys. Right, we're on to one that got added. Philip Birchall, and I know he's in the house as well. I think this is a good one. So it's not actually based on T's and C's. It's more your advice, really, I guess your perspective. So what do agents and choreographers think of students and upcoming dancers teaching classes and also advertising posting on their social media? Should they wait to gain experience to then teach? And then secondly, should they have a separate account so people hiring don't confuse their ambition as teaching over performing?
Oh, that's such a good question, because that's a really good question, because not every student is 16 or 15 or 17. Like some students are 25 and they're just kind of polishing up, and that's a really good question. I wonder if it's a question about inexperience rather than age with students. I started teaching when I was 16, but yeah, I'm trying to think about that. I think, God, that is such a good question.
I think I'll jump in with that.
Yeah, go on, Richie.
My problem, I used to teach, I started teaching when I was 13. And it was in my crew back in the days. I was, part of it. Started creating, and I felt that want to share and give, help others and express my creativity. It was in a crew. I wasn't charging anyone, so it was a very different system than teaching a class, charging people a certain amount to come to that class.
Sure.
I think educating, being a dancer and being an educator are two completely different things. Also, being a choreographer and being an educator are different things. I know incredible creatives who create these masterpieces, but literally should not be teaching a dance class. Teaching a dance class, because they understand that this is not necessarily, it's a different responsibility. I think with education, like for example, I wouldn't just go, like I speak Portuguese, but I am not going to hold a class teaching you how to Portuguese, because even though I speak the language doesn't mean that I have the necessary tools to get you the best learning the best learning experience so that you can become the best version of what you want to become. And I think we as artists, the reason why so many young performers, not all of them, are teaching is a lack of finances. It's a way of making money. I understand that, because if you were getting paid right to do the jobs that you're doing, you wouldn't be teaching. So I think if you know the reason why you're educating is because you want to educate and you want to give back, and you have so much to give and so much to say, 100%, your age does not matter. But if you do it solely because of money, it's a different approach and it's a different intention. And I just want us as artists to really, really give respect to an educator's position and really ask ourselves, what are we doing? If you want to create, get your friends, get in a room, create a
I agree. Totally.
Do you know what I mean? Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's cool. I think, and you've just sort of hit that thing in my brain where I've gone, okay, like it's like you said, it's a different thing to educate. It's a different thing to teach choreo and get people to learn it. That's another different thing as well. I think when
it's a different skill as well to be able to teach and to translate it.
And I think you need to. I just know from the scene that I'm from, like. I used to teach popping workshops and locking workshops, and you need to know your history. You need to know everything about the move. You need to know where the move has come from. You need experience in those styles to be able to teach them. And you also on the scene as well, you do need to have learnt from pioneers to be able to teach the styles. So like you said, Richie, I think education is such a, especially in dance, it's more than choreography, isn't it? And like you said, I think that if there are students without the experience wanting to get their choreography out there, like you said, there's nothing wrong with teaching a free class, going, I'm going to put my choreography out there, just see how it goes. But yeah, there's a whole world of experience you do need to be able to teach and educate, and just know, you've got to know your history and your background. Like even with commercial dance, there's a massive history behind that people don't know. Why dancers dance behind artists, why they move the way they do, and stuff like that. So and that a lot of that does come with experience, and that's time, right? So yeah.
But it's not to say though that the youth can't teach, because there's some amazing young teachers out there, some incredible teachers.
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
And
Philip just asked, it's more so how the industry sees them as teachers and if it will affect them being high dancers.
Can I touch base on that real quick? Because that's what I was going to go back to. Because I also asked her, because that AMCK agency that obviously work across that board as well, Catherine just wrote a response to that bit in particular. That I just wanted to share, because I think it might be quite helpful and you guys might have a different opinion. So she said, as for separate accounts, I think people begin to understand what their clients want, but personally, I don't like the idea of compartmentalizing people. I guess, I'm not sure if I'm saying that word correctly, but the way I see it, because I agree, is like putting people in buckets, like boxing them up, basically. As a talent, you are a multi-skilled person, and you can't constantly preempt what people want and need to see, as it would drive you crazy. Yes, but we like to see different aspects of your life and career in one place. For example, you never know, a choreographer might look at your page and see that you teach and think, great, they could be my dance captain as they can lead a team. But another could, as you mentioned, see it as a distraction. You can't please everyone. I would encourage finding a balance of what you can maintain, who you are and what you do. All in all, everyone's opinion differs and there is no right and wrong. So be true to yourself and do what you do, and you align in the right places with the right people.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You please everyone. Like, it's literally impossible. And also, what does the industry, like, who is the industry? Like, who's deciding what's right and what's wrong? I think we're just all here trying to figure it out, what works for each individual.
Yeah, true.
And I said, like, Phil, when he messaged us in, I said as well, I do think it's a thing with our industry. Like, I feel like I'm having this conversation a lot. Like, over here, I feel like our mentality is to box people. I don't know where that's come from or where it stems from, but it's like, I don't know if it's an industry thing or where we're based. I'm not sure, but like, there should be we're all artists. There should be no reason why, like, we couldn't dance today, want to sing tomorrow, create next week, then dance again the week after and be a choreographer the week after that without any questions being asked. Like, and I do feel like there's that mentality here. People are scared to dip their feet into different things, of losing the thing that they already have. because of other people's perceptions of just assuming that they don't want to do it anymore. And not seeing
absolutely.
that, like, we can do it all, and there's no real reason why we can't.
Oh God, yeah. Like, sorry, I just wanted to put out there, like, from what I've seen on the dance scene over lockdown, like, people are emerging as filmmakers, photographers. Like, there's some dancers on our books who have taken them. Like, I've just watched all their concept videos over the past year, and I'm so proud. And people are upping their skills. So we see our dancers doing these, like, almost looking like high budget films, but they're just taking their creativity out into the street and going, let's just make something. So yeah, why can't we all be multifaceted and complex and all those things? So shout out to people that are being their own filmmakers and photographers, and you know, we're still going.
Yeah, more and more of our talent are exploring things that they might have learned in college, and they've gone down one path. And now they, people that are doing live theatre and stuff, maybe they're looking at other aspects of where they can go with their career. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Multifaceted, is that the word, Nadia?
Yeah, multifaceted.
Yeah. Look at some examples that I think right now are kind of killing the game. You have people like Iris Goebel, who creates a fancy show, but is also in it, who has her own brand, who has her own fashion, who has her own crew, and she's just winning in all of the sides. Or you have someone like Charm, who's now creating her own music, putting herself out there. Like, no limitations. If you truly doing it because you just want to do it, just go for it and let it be what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Smashing. I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm so, like, weary if this phone keeps falling over. I'm sorry I keep moving around.
Sorry I came late,
by the way.
I don't know what I've missed. I don't know how many questions you've got through already.
No, not too many. About halfway. We're on time, so that's all good. Right, after Phil, we have... Okay, cool, this is a good one. It seems that with other jobs, i.e. normal 9-to-5 jobs, there's a tiering system in regards to working up to certain levels of pay, depending on how long they have been in the sector experience. Is this something that will ever be implemented in our industry also?
Oh my gosh, I hope so. It's I think this all goes back to people in the industry sticking together and sticking by, obviously, keeping to a good high standard of rates, and then everyone's CVs and reels are basically, sorry, I'm not explaining it very well. Dancers' CVs and reels are evidence of what you have done in the past. So to say to someone, look, I've danced for Rihanna, that person should be seen as high in the game, especially if their experience in the game is long as well. Is something that we've not been able to crack yet. I think actually, no, I think there are some people that have, but I think it's when you get to social media brings attention to people. So we're constantly seeing choreographers and dancers almost become on this celebrity level. And that does allow people to pay more and pay for a higher rate. But we're not seeing it in our sort of everyday dancers that have still been here for a long time. Maybe they're not on celebrity level, but they've got a massive body of work. So I think
it's a difficult one, though. I think it's very difficult because on one aspect you're looking at it and it's like people are coming into a production and they're doing the same hours and they're doing the same job. So you can look at it from that perspective and you can think, okay, is it fair when they're equally doing the same rehearsals, doing or on set for the same length of time, that they are now being paid differently? I do totally get the fact that one of them has got maybe a wealth of experience behind them and has trained for longer and has invested maybe more time and has more experience with different projects, but at the same time, essentially, they're doing the same job. So it's hard. So I think the difference being with this one is if someone is being hired for who they are, rather than as in because they're a name and they bring something to it for who they are, then I think on those levels, it's more understandable that they're getting paid a higher rate. I totally, but then it's a harder question to bring to potentially production and stuff like that if they're viewed as doing the same job? I mean, I'm interested to hear what.
I think that's
sorry.
part of our problem though.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the clients see us as all just doing the one job, and that's purely because of the way that it's structured as of now. If we actually came, like I do believe that it should be like the more experience you have, then your rate and everything should go up, because I understand what you're saying, but that's from the perspective of, like, say a dancer that's new and you're on the same because you're all doing the same, but from the dancer that's 32 years old that's been doing this since 18 and is now on the same paycheck to someone that's 17 that's just come in with no experience, it's kind of like where do you go? The question is, how do we ever earn more money? Like, how do we actually use this job as a career to buy the house that every other normal job has to do, because it goes up with the more experience and the more talented with experience you get, and with that, the more you're then wanted. Like, your experience and your talent should be seen by the clients as something that they want on their job, and it's actually our mentality that's the problem as to why it's not. Like, we are currently seen as a pool of dancers by the clients because of the way that we're structured. So, like, in our vision, I know we can't set rates, but DN's vision is to tier. Like, it would be the end goal to have tiered talent for sure, and just that the restructure, so that when clients do want dancers, they're not just, I need like a million, I need 15 dancers, don't care who they are. Well, they're all different rates because they are all genuinely talented at their craft. So you choose who you want for your job, because if you want this person, they're going to deliver a lot higher standard than this person because they've done 4 tours, and it's just like us re-educating. It's not an overnight thing, but it's like re-educating the whole system.
But it's basically having a day rate, isn't it? It's naming your day rate, and this is what you cost per day.
We've got
I've just found
because our job role doesn't change like in other jobs, so where there could be a tier if we all do the same thing. Like, Phil's just saying he understands what you're saying, Maxine, because we are all doing the same thing.
I think it's like, because there's so many different types of jobs, right? For dancers, there's sort of ensemble, there's solo, choreography, movement director, that kind of thing. And I know my choreography rate has gone up way past what it was 10 years ago, because it has to. We can't, especially with inflation. And I know that was one of the questions that someone asked, because we can't, I think we do need to bring that. Obviously we need to fight for our standard rate anyway, but we do need to bring, I think it's what Lili said, the mentality of where we're keeping ourselves in the dance scene. It's almost like we're afraid to be business minded. Like, I swear in law firms you get more money per, yes, we're not doing law or anything like that, but how are we going to change the structure if we don't have an official establishment to do that for us? So as individuals, we do need to kind of say, well, look, this person has been in the game for ages and they're going to give you exactly that. Yeah, we've got this person who's graduated and they're brilliant, but there does need to be a difference. And I think we need to change our mindset on that. We do. I
mean, part of it is how people are promoted, I suppose. If there was a tier system, you would have, this is, not your gold level and your bronze, but just as in, this is this amount of experience and this is that, and you can be brought into at different levels. But it's just, it again depends on the production. For example, in something like TV commercials, which we work in a lot, actually your experience doesn't always go in your favor, because a lot of the time they want fresh faces, and actually we find if someone's got a huge show reel, it actually goes against them rather than them looking like they're new on the scene, because they don't want someone that's overexposed. So it actually is really super dependent on what it's for.
Exactly, yeah.
In these scenarios.
I think that with experience, there's a difference between overexposure and experience. What the experience that I'm talking about, what the way it helps you on a job is just simply conduct yourself, being on time, being professional, being all those things or knowing, being capable of on the job, having to change the whole brief and added new heels, and then, here's a hula hoop that you need to jump through. And here's also a ball that you need to juggle at the same time. And a professional with experience that has been in this position multiple times will be able to take on a task completely different than someone who has never done a commercial before. So that is what I, for example, base myself on in terms of when I try to negotiate my rates. It's like, okay, what is my experience in that field and how can it help them? Now, am I overexposed? Maybe, but it's up to them to then decide whether that's, do you know what I mean? But I just don't feel like
I don't mean, when I say overexposed, I just mean I'm talking about sometimes, this is again in commercials, it's more like if someone's face is, if someone's being used a lot at that particular time, they'll say, oh right, we've seen her a lot, or we've seen him a lot. So, you know, but then again, you know, in other things it will be a real asset. So it just, you know, it's not, maybe overexposed is the wrong words, but yeah, I totally get where you're coming from.
I totally get the thing as well. I think it's such a difficult one, and it's something that me and Lily like talk about honestly, like on a weekly basis. Like, how would it even work? How could we make it work? And to present something, and we do not have those answers yet. And if anyone in here has a suggestion, feel free to contact us, because we're so open-minded to anything. We don't have all the answers, but we're so determined to find them. And conversations is what's gonna make it happen. So, you know, we're learning and we're growing and we're doing our best.
I love this. Like, even I do love like the questions that it raises, because it is like, yes, we all do the same. I'm just looking at the comments now. We do all do the same role, but then evidently, what is our argument then? Because we're all saying that how do we get more money? I'm more experienced than this person, and we're worried that we're all stuck on the same rate. So we do have to look at ways and what our argument would be on how we would raise the rate.
Yeah.
And it is through our experience. And that is literally with you. Yes, you're doing the same job on paper, but how are you delivering it? And that is just that is where your confidence comes from, and that's where your worth comes from. And that again is us just limiting ourselves, thinking, oh, we're all doing the same. So yeah. And then I get this as well. Someone's wrote Caitlin Curley, that'll be. My fear would be that someone with more experience would be rejected because of the client's financial restrictions. Any thoughts?
Yeah, it could happen. Yeah, absolutely. I think, because I think we are seeing people putting themselves in different tiers, and obviously that goes on how popular someone is in regards to a choreographer or a dancer. So their rates might be higher, and people are almost happy to pay them because they know, oh, this person's known. They'll obviously bring a certain amount of exposure to my business if I hire them. But yeah, that is such a valid question, because then how do you then you go, gosh, someone might have lost a job because they're charging a higher rate because of their experience. So that is something that I'd like to know as well, if anyone can help.
I like what Phil's just said, actually, because it does come up to that, we don't, again, our like ethos and vision isn't to ever take jobs away from people. We want to, especially the experienced ones, that, you know, work. Yeah. He said like union level jobs, as in like certain jobs for certain tiers. So say like you have to have a certain level of experience before you do a tier, or before, I don't know. Like
that's such a great.
Oh, I'm so excited about this conversation.
Yeah, definitely don't have the answers for that yet, but we will find them.
That's a really good point, though, that Phil said about the tiers, and so
it's how you build even on someone's website, though, isn't it?
What's that?
Sorry. I was just saying it's how you build on some, you know, you can make, you know, it's how, you know, this is, you know, experience, or, you know, how your bio reads, it's everything.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'll get low boss is going to pipe up. What's he saying? This is a great point, that only, and then he's paused on us. Damn. We will come back.
So it doesn't seem like many other industries are having trouble with that, because actors aren't all earning the same money because they're doing the same job, and then singers aren't earning the same money because they're doing the same job, and I know musicians aren't earning the same money because they're doing the same job. And I know, you know, you can go stay in the entertainment industry, but you can go into any other industry, which that is still the case. No one is earning the same job as an intern. So I don't know.
There are dancers that are earning, you know, I can think of certain dancers that are used, and they are, as you said, celebrities in their own right, and they're definitely not on the same, you know, I can think of some of Beyonce's dancers, for example, that are built of who they are. You know, rather than, you know, and it's just, it's again, the status that the dancer is at as well, I suppose, when they're being brought in for them as in their named right, and not seen, as you said before, Lily, as just the dancer. which
Mm-hmm.
is what you're striving for at the end of the day.
Guys,
Yeah.
this needs to be a whole clubhouse talk. Like, we're getting there. I'm actually gonna, just because I'm weird time as well, I'm gonna go to a question that kind of like leads on from that, so we're like staying on the same page. I was gonna give us a break, but because I do kind of want to get it in the conversation. In regards, this is Katie Collins has this one. In regards to inflation, is there any plans for dancers' rates to adapt with it?
Goodness.
Sorry, I missed that. What did you? I missed what you said.
That's all right. So in regards to inflation, is there any plans for dancers' rates to adapt with it? I have no idea why, as an industry, we've never spoke about this before.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's something that that, you know, the dancers' rates are, as Aisha said from AMCK, the dancers' rates are sort of the same as from back in the day. You know, it hasn't really gone up, which is ridiculous considering everything else has.
Yeah, the fact that we're still fighting for a minimum now is crazy, isn't it? Like, and oh God, that would be the dream that we're just treated as every other industry, and yep, it's going to go up with that. And but the fact that we're still fighting for minimum now is just madness. But again, it's just going to take everyone to just say no, you know, just say that's where it's always the crux of it, isn't it? If we're just sticking together, then they can't penetrate through that if everyone is on that same page, and that would be the dream, Kate Collins.
Well, there definitely is already a change in it since Dancers Network got behind all of this, or started creating this, and not got behind it, created it, I should say. It's there has been a massive change in fees, especially for things like setting the rate for the music videos.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
There already is a massive change in fees, I think.
Yeah, and it's just keeping on that fight, isn't it? Just keep that going, and then
and everyone sticking to it.
Yeah, I agree. I think with inflation, it's never stuck with us because we've all just been so stagnant with the rate that we're comfortable with hearing. And that again comes with what we're comfortable with living in, and we need to just expand in our own confidence and work as an industry to not be afraid to ask for more. Like, I know, obviously, you guys know, and those that don't, as Dancers Network right now, we're not allowed to officially set rates, but what we do is individually advise. And when we advise rates, we will always continually go, like, increase that with the general inflation. So next year, what we advise this year would probably have gone up like £5 or £6.
Sure.
Inflation is never much, but know that that's in the back of our heads, knowing that it should be. Obviously, we're still like a baby, so just to get us even on the same page with that music video, we could have done that this year. But I mean, we've all had a massive lockdown. I think we all just need to like get that rate in the bloodstream first, and then i.e. that will be something. I mean, it's not going to stay at £412.50. You know, like, we will advise that going up with inflation every year, because it just, and then as an industry, it's up to us. It's not like every other one where like it's set. It's up to each of us to educate ourselves yearly on now what it is. Like, look at what we're advising and get on the same page. And I also think, like, as professionals as well, if we've been in the career for like, well, however many years, and you've been with the same agent and your rate has been the same, that's actually for us to acknowledge, like, why have we never had that conversation with them? Like, why have we never asked that question? Because we're paying them to negotiate for us. And if you've been on 150 or 180 for 7 years for rehearsal, why aren't we asking, can this go up with inflation? Because since I've been in this industry, I should now be on like A, or whatever the rate would be. And then I think if all of us actually did that, generally an organic tier would start forming. If we all based on the years that we've been working in the industry so far and went up with inflation, we would all be on different rates purely on that alone. And so I think it's for us to actually question ourselves, like, it is down to us. Like, we need to ask these questions, like, hey, how comes I have been on, like, it has, like what Maxine said, since with climate change, like, I was always on 150, and now it has gone up, and now I've got holiday on top of that as well. So to be honest, I'm on like at least £50 more a day every single time I work now.
All that for us to come together as an industry, that's all that it took, and to come to an agreement and start somewhere. And as long as we continue with that as an industry, it will continue to get better better and better, but we need to take responsibility for our part in it and stop expecting the people that are paying us to just go, you know what, here's some more money, because no one does that. That doesn't exist anywhere.
No.
You have to request what you're worth, and and in a professional manner, you have to have the conversation, and you have to like reevaluate for yourself as well. But it's really stimulate your mind with those questions and ask around. Ask the people that have more knowledge than you do. Like, we're always, not to say that we have necessarily knowledge than anyone else, but we're super determined to find the answers if we don't have them. So
Yeah,
that's all we can do.
Absolutely. And I think it's having the confidence to say this isn't good enough, and not having that fear that it's going to get passed on to the next person who's just going to say yes. And I know that's the fear for so many dancers, where they're just like, I want to say no, I want to know my worth, but I just, and especially right now, we're in this pandemic, you know, people need to make money, and I totally get where the fear is, and we've just got to be confident that each other are going to go, nah, I've said no as well, so back to you, and hopefully they'll go with the rate you asked for, kind of thing. So
as I say, more time than nothing, than not rather. Producers, the minute they're educated and they know that this is where things are now, I've not once had someone say no to me. I'm like, it's just educating your clients and using your agent to educate the clients at the end of the day. Because actually, lots of producers and people like that aren't even aware of this at the moment, and that there's been a change in the movement. So it's our job to let people know it.
For sure.
I love that. Yeah, it's true. Everyone just needs to be educated, and then it's better for everyone. What we got left? 10 minutes. Cool. Right. Of course, the current climate of COVID has affected all performers, dancers. Will there be any dramatic changes in order to ensure everybody is able to receive the opportunities they've been working for and missing out on?
Wait, hold on. I had an answer for that.
I mean, from my personal experience, I suppose it's because we sit very much in TV commercial world, so there's been an abundance of work. We're one of the lucky streams that our work hasn't stopped, because you've got basically a sitting audience watching the television, so advertising hasn't stopped. And then also we do, we're film and TV, and everything is in production all the time. Obviously everything else is affected, but yeah, on our side there is an abundance of work. There's so much work actually, which is amazing, and it's just thankfully able to keep lots of the other talent still afloat whose industries are affected more because the live stuff has been on hold. But I mean, you'll be able to answer more on the live side.
Yeah, I think it's like what you said, Maxine, like we've noticed TV and film are still going ahead. They have precautions, they do COVID tests, you've got to wear a mask until it's your time to shoot. I did a film in Malta, and the whole thing was just like masks on until you don't, tested 3 times a week. And that, I think that's the way the industry is going until all this is over, and that's what they're going to have to do for TV and film. So as Maxine said, people are sitting at home watching it. It's the live that has just hit so hard, hasn't it?
So badly.
And maybe we don't even know the answers to that. But I hope that doesn't make anyone feel not to be part of the industry anymore. That's so sad to think. You've got graduates and people who are still quite young in the industry who might not have worked a lot, and they're just like, where do we go from here? Because normally live is where you get your experience sometimes. And doing a live show, a theatre show and stuff, and especially being from a dance crew background, a lot of our stuff was like, you're doing Dancers Delight, you're doing this, and that's where you did your stuff. But I don't know if any of us can answer that right. I just hope people aren't deterred from working at it and polishing their talent and doing what they want to do. I guess we just got to wait and see.
I think people are going to be flying to those theatres the minute that they're open. I think you're not going to be able to get anyone else of a theatre because everyone's desperate to be entertained. So I think it's going to come back in full force.
And I think some shows in the West End are opening May. Is what we've been told, and some shows are July. So fingers crossed that's across the board, hopefully, for live music, artists, theatre, everything. So yeah, fingers crossed, guys. We all need it, don't we?
And I also,
Rich, I was going to say, add about the mentality around the COVID thing.
like obviously right now we can't predict how COVID really is going to be on a grand scheme, and I think it'll be honestly years until we look back and be like, wow, that really changed a lot. But what I do hope it changed for many people is their perspective, because never in our lives, in our careers, has it been more important to be able to save money, like ever. You are, I am mainly a live performance artist. That's mainly my bread and butter, right? And the fact that, for example, what got me through 2020, I did one job in 2020, but what got me through was money that I was receiving from my residuals from commercials that I did. I did one commercial the year before, and that let me go for the whole year of 2020 and kept me afloat. And what I want to say is, when you're accepting low pay jobs over and over again, and this is all you're getting, you're living paycheck to paycheck. And I get that we are self-employed, but what I'm saying is, if you're not able to put money aside for a rainy day, a rainy week, or in this case, a rainy year, I don't know, something there. Like, there's something that needs to change in our perspectives of our value and our approach to how we want to be paid as an artist, because this shouldn't be the case. You should be able to, at least for a few months, be able to, like, okay, well, nothing is happening. What else can I do? How can I reinvest back in myself? How can I get creative? And that comes with money. And people saying that money doesn't matter, well,
no, it does.
Because we need this, money makes the world go round, and we need to get paid. As simple as that. So I do hope that this experience has really incepted something in people's brains about what do you expect, and how do you want to live? What's your, like, all of these questions need to be answered for yourself. And so you know that you can navigate in a different way, and you can set different standards for yourself, and that will elevate the industry as a whole, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And I think what you said is, especially at Free Your Style, we try and encourage dancers to be their own business managers. Like, you do have to manage your own business, and there's nothing wrong with saying, I think sometimes we're scared to say we're a business or it's a brand, because obviously we love it and there's a heart in it. But like you said, money does make the world go round, and that's how we live. You know, we're still people working this job. We're just lucky enough to be able to love what we do, but that doesn't make us immune to, I don't know, not having money one month or not being able to pay a bill. Like, we got to put the business into dance, and that's okay. We can't be afraid of that. And it doesn't make us heartless. It doesn't make us cold. It makes us smart. And that's something that people don't see dancers as a lot of the time. They just, you you always get the, oh, you lot prancing about, like, we've all had that at some point. And you're kind of like, we need to just be like, no, I'm not prancing. I'm doing, this is my job. So we need to get in that business mindset, and it's not cutthroat. It's just what anyone else would do in any other industry, and we need to just keep on that.
Health has been affected though, you're having to come back as well with all this uncertainty. It's been hard for everyone. So.
This has been, well, we didn't even get through all the questions, but I'm weary that we've got like 2 minutes and we're going to have to wrap it up. But I genuinely think this has been super insightful. I want more conversations, like more transparent conversations about this kind of stuff. I think this is exactly what we need at this exact point. Like, so yeah, you two are fab. Does anyone have anything to add real quick? Like, yeah, you've got 1 minute if you did. Go. No,
there's so much to say, isn't there? Really, like,
there is so much to say. I guess we've just got to do more of these talks, guys. It's been you have been brilliant on it. Like, thank you, Rich. Obviously, your words of wisdoms are always gems, and you two together. Yeah, I just think this has been super insightful. Everyone's showing loads of love. It's been really helpful and interesting.
Yay.
So, yeah, thank you, guys. It's really great to hear from you as agents, for sure. I feel like we don't hear your voices individually enough. So, yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and just a word to the dancers. I really, really want them to know, like, we're on your side. We're not above you. We're not, we work together. Like, we can't do this without you. And I just want that to be out there, because there's that long narrative of agents being scary, and I understand that because I went through that, but it shouldn't be the case. We've got to just do this together now, and we're working together because we're both, you know, we're both earning money together. That's how it is. That's the business side of it, and then we're in the journey together. So yeah, we just gotta keep going and not be afraid.
I would do a full heart, but my other hand's holding up my goddamn phone. So, guys, honestly,
Oh my
so
gosh.
much love. Yeah, love.
It's like a weird one of those. I don't know what it is.
Now something done. But anyway, love, guys. Honestly, mwah, mwah, mwah. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you for having us.
Lots of love, DN. Bye.
Thank you.